We're late. We yammered. I don't know. This could end up in an argument.
I know.
Okay, so things have to remember to be in fake slates.
We even got a drum roll in there. What does that mean?
I'm going to start doing a drum roll.
It's like, oh shit, this is what you're about to get.
It still wasn't very loud. I'm kind of, what's going on?
Hi everybody, welcome back. Episode 20 you're watching or listening to of Yapping with Teri and Dave.
What if you were watching and listening to it?
No.
Imagine. I mean, how did they do that?
Sure, that's possible. Oh goodness.
So awkward week.
Yeah, crazy kind of week for us. I mean, the last show was in the dark.
And the show before that was 3 tries to get going because of microphone issue. We're sort of, did somebody jinx us out there? They're so jealous of us. The world is jealous of us. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Right? You want to talk about jealousy? Maybe
we might touch on that later. So anyway,
it'd be more like picking a scab. Jealousy is more like picking a scab.
How so?
Because we're all wounded, and jealousy, I don't know, I'm making this up as I go along.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
Like hating somebody else for something that you don't have. But they have scabs too.
Yeah, or
I'm really just tying this together in a random, connected scabs and jealousy. Go.
Was about the jealousy that I read today, that it can also be related to fear, that if you let somebody make you feel happy or important, that you become fearful of losing it if you're not defining your own happiness. So that's where this jealousy comes from, because that person, you've allowed them to just give your life importance or some happiness, and then you're afraid of losing it, and you create a story in your mind of what you think is happening.
It's fed by the story.
Yeah, exactly. So intriguing, and it's a big study. I think one that needs some looking into.
But we won't be talking about that this episode. Actually, it's a hard topic. We usually have laughed a few times by now.
I know, but I think it's interesting. I mean, this show is about, for those of you that only watch the first few minutes, the shows can actually be interesting. We really try to touch on things that are meaningful. If
you tried watching the other episodes, the episodes could actually be, I know you don't believe her.
And
and it just slipped into that whole.
Yeah.
Anyway. The fact that we've been having technical difficulties. Look, I've opened up.
Let's go into Tech Talk.
Okay, so I
guess some things for Tech Talk.
Oh wait, don't rush it.
I'm not doing this. I'm moving it because that's not where I put my props. I always put it there.
You need a little prop.
That's my prop wagon.
You need a prop maiden.
Can it be a male maiden?
Whatever trips your trigger. Okay, so where are we? Tech Talk.
Okay, so Tech Talk. We were I had noticed that one of our friends, Mark Harmon, an actor. We did, and I'll be tagging him in this, but we did a couple of shows together that David directed called Mad Libs.
And you can see them on my website.
I'll put a connection in the description for you, and they're on David's website. They're on my YouTube channel.
So.
Yeah, so that's fun. Anyway, so he is also kind of winging his own little podcast. I don't know if it's his girlfriend, but I see a lot of pictures of him with his gal. And they said they're just doing their own and kind of in their own space, which looks cool and hip. And Mark's funny. So I think they'll have a success. It's like us. So you get your own little cult of following. And,
So has he started it yet?
I don't know for sure. I just found it today and I didn't have a chance to follow up with him. But I will, of course. But Mark Harmon, he's got a big social media presence. He does a lot of acting on Honolulu.
There's a very famous actor.
Oh yeah, not that Mark Harmon.
Not the CSI Mark Harmon.
No,
yeah, we don't know him.
But this Mark has a chance of being
other
successful.
Mark Harmon.
he's cute and he's funny, so you check him out, Mark Harmon.
I would love to work together and do all that.
Yeah, he was great. Yeah.
But instead, I'm doing this. I could be doing that, but I'm doing this.
Yeah, we're doing our own podcast. So, which brings me to.
You took me so seriously, like you just.
I don't know if I really got it.
I mean, I wasn't. It wasn't that like a joke, but you kind of like.
Yeah. Well. Okay, so podcasts. I went to look up that show you recommended, You're Not So Smart, as a podcast. And when I did, I pulled up, it showed the very first episode I saw was episode 70. So I downloaded that, and in that show, he recommended in the beginning that the listener see the first 3 previous episodes.
Listen to the first 3.
Yeah, listen to them. And so David mentioned that that's how podcasts are reported, is the most recent. I'm used to Netflix, which is season 1, your first episode, and it goes down in chronological order. And so we were talking about, how do we post that on my YouTube channel, on my playlist? Do we post it as the most recent or by seasons?
Yeah, what would people be looking for? But even if you did, they're not, like here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. I guess people don't know, and when it comes to these kinds of shows, I guess they want to know the most recent episode. Like if I were to go to the Daily Show channel or something, I'd probably want to see them. It's
I probably
topical.
Would too.
It's topical, like it's like current.
Right.
Even
yeah,
though
that makes
hopefully
sense.
you're like maybe you'll be listening to this in your log cabin after the apocalypse.
Yeah, oh, poor you.
So it would
Not
be
the apocalypse.
I know. Worse than the apocalypse is being stuck with
just the yapping.
70 episodes of Yapping with Teri and Dave. Holy crap.
I know, probably every previous
my
boyfriend of mine would
God.
be so tortured.
You should send them like USBs or whatever.
Totally. No hate mail, just copies of the show. Anyway.
So, what else is under the tech talk?
And then we talked about making mistakes.
Oh my God, that's what we started with.
Yeah, it was that last episode we filmed in the dark. It had been such a rugged day for me. I couldn't even pull my makeup
But
together.
that wasn't a technical error. That was a...
But that whole night ended up being a technical.
No,
that was the one
previous
before.
Don't
Don't on me.
You...
And don't point your middle finger
No,
at me either. I saw that. Hey, I have to tell you something.
You must. What, did you become psychic in the last 7 days? Because like you're really reading my mind, like completely. Like everything you think is exactly what I'm doing and thinking.
Oh
Like
my God,
you're like
that is
inside
so
my head.
appropriate
I feel
for
like
tonight.
you're marionette. I feel like just a empty flesh of a human being. Not even. You've
That
stolen
is
my soul
funny.
and taken over all my thoughts. Take me. Where are we? Does that take us into relationships?
I think my ex-boyfriend would say that.
Oh,
exactly.
That's the.
That's funny.
Hello. Where are we? Good grief.
Okay, where
I
did
don't
we
even
go?
know what just happened.
Okay, so let's go to Happy Place. Okay.
Really? After that, you want to go to? Yeah, I guess we could use a little Happy Place.
Yeah.
I'm all worked up. You just totally worked me up.
That is so funny. Yeah, you say that. Okay, Happy Place. So this last night I did 2 hours of Louise Hay. Amazing. I mean, one of them was one of her earlier videos, and then one was a more recent one. And she's just amazing.
You're on YouTube?
I got them on YouTube. Yep. And they were so great. I found a really fun spot in my house, like my favorite couch. Had my aromatherapy and, my fun blanket, and had my notepad and took some notes and really learned a lot about what's going on in here, and being in control of that, and really what you're stuffing it with. So it has this much capacity, and are you going to allow a bunch of negative thoughts and crap in there, or are you going to push that out with some really cool, happy thoughts? And not that you ignore or give neglect in your life to things that need attention, but do them in a pretty as happy way as you can. Paying your bills, becoming a friend with money, putting a smiley face on the note in that check, and really becoming friends with your money, and thinking more positively with it. So that was one. Financial was an important one for me. So I gleaned that from it. And boy, by the time it was done, I felt amazing. I totally recharged my brain and my body, and I would do it again. That was
So
fun.
what are you doing while you listen to her?
Chilling. I had a glass of wine, and just wrote notes. And there was about an hour. There was a break, and then another half hour, and then a 20-minute one.
Is it like a specific session that sort of set up that says, here, spend 2 hours with Louise Hay and grab your pencil and pen?
These were about affirmations.
But do they prep you as like it's a course?
No.
Or did you just take on the
first one, and I'm going to do a video on it. That's what I was doing my research. I thought I'd do it part of my Discover Yourself series. It would be a video on this. And the first part was what are affirmations? How do they work? And then the second video was how to really put strength behind your affirmations and just kind of a more compact of get control of your thoughts. So I liked the whole thing together, and I'll do a video on that and let you know when it's done.
Oh, so you're not going to answer my question.
What was your question? I didn't hear it.
I don't even remember now.
Oh, you just like to get me in trouble.
No, I asked if they were particularly courses where you were encouraged to grab a pen and paper and sit and take them in, or was...
It was a recap of a book she wrote, and I don't remember the title of the book offhand. The first one was the recap.
Oh, so it wasn't
of the book.
Particularly like a workshop.
No. She actually moved too quickly. It was hard to keep track of the notes.
Luckily you can stop and start.
Yeah, but she did ask a question which I thought was interesting, and it was, what's the one thing that you worry about? The first thing that comes to your mind. And so it was interesting because it came up so quickly. I realized that, it was interesting. I discovered that about myself. Discover yourself. Haha, there you go. I discovered something about myself. That's what the series is about, discovering yourself. So I'm going to share these.
It should be called rediscovering yourself.
Well, I don't think I ever discovered myself. I mean...
Well, depending on how you look at it, you at one point were, well, yeah, I guess...
You know me for a long time, so...
You're right. You're always discovering who you are. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I wish you'd discover more.
I'm like.
I've got a bunch of books you could borrow.
Is this all there is? Let me out! Ah! It's getting older in here.
I know, right?
I'm running out of time. Oh, Louise.
So I don't want to keep hanging out there for too long,
Okay.
One of the other things that's moving into relationships. This is a good segue.
Oh, this is a really heavy episode. Really heavy, man.
Well, we don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. We could talk about
that's
something
your
not so
interpretation
heavy.
of heavy episode.
You interpreted heavy. You just said
wait,
heavy.
But
That's heavy. That is heavy.
But heavy does not imply let's move on. You decided that heavy implies not good.
You implied whining that we were still lingering.
I did not imply
the
whining.
Depressiveness.
No, you are again
This is much
pretending that you own this monkey suit and know what I think instead of hearing the words.
I
said, oh my goodness. No.
Even your body went, ugh.
Oh my goodness. All right. You are right about what I feel. You are absolutely
That's not
right.
what I said.
You are. No,
That's
you
not
did.
what I said.
When you watch this back, you're totally
Said,
boxing me into how I felt when I said heavy.
Okay. So now what do we do?
You apologize and we move on.
Dave, I'm sorry.
Okay, let's go to the next topic,
on.
for God's fucking sake.
Oh, okay, let's do pop culture.
Wait, no, you just opened up the relationships. You can't go back.
Okay, so
That's
then my comment in relationships for this week is this movement of really having close friends, right? It was about being self-reliant. That's my suggestion. I got off track there. So I would say for relationships, I'm always here to inspire maybe a young girl who's struggling to think for herself or find her way. And I think my best suggestion to them would be to be self-reliant in a number of different categories. Finances, health, care, friendships, love. It's really important. It's so much easier to recover from, let's say, a breakup. You have a breakup and, it could hurt or feel like a prickly shirt for a day or two. But if you have your act together and you can bounce back, it makes things so much easier. Those are my thoughts on that.
We forgot to do the commercial for these chips.
Yeah, do it right now. They're so crunchy. Look, this is this brand. We have them. They're so delicious. If you haven't eaten, they're called Have a Corn Chips. They have corn, soybean oil. That soy sauce on them is so delicious.
The soybean oil part didn't really...
Yeah, that didn't go over so well.
They have a nice little tamari.
Yeah, they're delicious.
That was a terrible commercial.
I don't know. I said they were delicious.
I totally interrupted your heavy moment. Is that better? Is that how you want to hear the word heavy? Your heavy moment.
No. Anyway, have a corn chip. They're delicious.
I was changing the subject.
I know, you're making this extra difficult.
No, okay. I'm making it difficult.
Oh.
You really
Hey, wait,
really
how did we...
telling me where it's at
Where
tonight.
did we put this in there?
Good for you.
Remember?
A happy place.
Was it Happy Place? It was Happy Place.
Yeah, but it's all about you.
No.
So you control everything.
Anyways, Dave's birthday.
You even control what I think and what I'm feeling.
Because I know what you're thinking.
Yeah, you do.
Moments.
I'm
psycho.
You're totally, yeah.
I didn't mean to say psycho.
Yeah, well, therein.
I'm just going to embrace it. No.
There's your Freudian slip.
Psychic.
Is that you think...
Whatever.
You think that you're actually psychic, but you're not. You're psycho.
I do not think I am psychic.
Well, you keep telling me what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling.
I'm thinking that you want to talk about your birthday that we just celebrated a couple of days ago.
No, we're talking about you this episode. This is the Teri Edmonds episode.
No, it is not. Have nothing else to discuss about myself. We're going to sit here in silence?
Well, you could ask a question of me if you're really interested, but if you're not, we'll just sit here in silence until the 20 minutes is up.
My God. You could just offer some information and not make it difficult. Participate. David, do you ever get jealous? Do you find is jealousy a weakness for you?
See, but that's so difficult to actually ask your
friend.
It
was difficult, trust me.
To ask your friend a question.
What just went through
ask
right
me
there.
how I think of it.
Okay, so I just asked you.
Jealousy? No, I'm over jealousy. I stopped jealousy a long time ago. I find it completely useless feeling.
You don't even get a stinging feeling sometimes of jealousy that maybe you have to curtail? And if you do have to curtail, do you tell yourself something specific?
I believe that a certain part of me that's attached to at times gets tugged, but I don't consider it jealous. Jealousy is not the thing, no. There's nothing about it that wants me to stop them from experiencing their experience. There's nothing about it that makes me want to take over their experience.
Interesting.
I rarely get the feeling that I want, rarely, so there's maybe an admission of some form of jealousy, I suppose, but maybe it's closer to envy, that I want to do what they're doing. I want to have or be that. I don't really think about myself in connecting, in compare. I think jealousy takes you out of the center of your position. I'm not using my favorite word. So jealousy is one of those things that just totally takes you out of the captain's seat. So, no, not at all. I swear to God, I think about it, like trying to find incidents in any recent
I have another question.
era.
Do you ever experience anger or intolerance?
Constantly.
Why don't you use the same self-talk that you do for jealousy for your anger and intolerance?
Because anger makes me stronger, not weaker. Jealousy makes me weaker. Jealousy is a weakness. Anger, if channeled correctly, is quite a force. But jealousy is always a weakness. It always undoes power, structure, stuff, the thing. It's like jamming a hole inside of your power. The anger is something that you can actually hone.
And it comes from pretty deep. I just was reading some,
jealousy?
Those emotions.
Well,
it's coming from some...
It's probably partly to do with survival instincts, like, there's all the meat, I'm starving.
Right.
I'm really jealous you have the meat. Like, so ask me in the apocalypse how I feel about jealousy. That might be a different answer later. Like, if I really was in need.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I have lived a very fortunate life where I can adjust to not being jealous of others.
Right. Having fear. I read, just touching on it again, I was reading this story and it was saying that this jealousy kind of, it comes from these emotional insecurities that you're not good enough. So when you have that other person that comes in your life that maybe you feel better about yourself for some reason by being with them, that then this creates this fear of losing that because you have underlying feelings that you're not good enough for some reason. So, if somebody says that, I want somebody 4 foot tall and you're 7 foot tall, you've already not good enough. So I could see how things could build. And, I don't know, that was actually came from studying abusers. They say abusers make you feel like you're not good enough.
And that's connected to jealousy.
Part of it. So it's this whole, I don't know, so many layers of stuff. So that's why I can't really go through the whole jealousy discussion tonight because I think it's going to be a study.
Well, I don't think that you could actually go through the whole jealousy topic anyway.
Yeah.
Like, in a yapping, supposedly humorous comedy episode. I'm sorry, we were fresh out of jokes this week. All you got was the leftover pork.
Hey, these are important topics that people all around the world experience, and I think it's nice to hear it from somebody else in the world what they're doing about it and some solutions. I'm taking it that you're making it non-significant, this show.
Non-significant? No. See?
Okay.
No.
Because it's not funny.
How come? Why are you putting words into my mouth all show? This entire episode,
I don't know.
you
Why?
keep forcing this position of how I feel on me, and it has. And you were so off base, like you were just totally making it so that it's like you're going, have you stopped beating your wife? And I have to exit out of your assumption about how I feel before I've even gotten to express how I feel.
Are you beating your wife?
This is the unfunny episode.
Look, it even has siren background.
Thank you for telling us because I can't hear it.